Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork and Noodles for another breakdown of the Apothecary Diaries episode number 12. Unlike all of my other videos that have just ended, you guys aren't going anywhere. You don't get my end of season or anything because this show continues into the winter season, and my goodness, I am so happy we have 24 episodes. If it had ended in this episode, I might have just sent me away. Just do something with me because this episode was insane. My heart is weak and oh my god, there was so many moments where I was just biting through my pen. So if you are feeling generous, buy me a new pen at my coffee. Joking. There was a lot of moments in this episode where I was like just chewing on my pen. Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm seeing. I know you guys were like, look out for next week's episode. Yeah, I understand. This week's episode was insane. I've got a lot of bits and pieces I want to go through. Before we get going, do make sure you guys are subscribed. We have got my end of season review in about 6 days now. I will be including Apothecary Diaries because I know technically people don't include shows that air in another season, that span another season. For me, this show will be included on both the winter and the fall awards because it's technically airing during both. That's just how I'm going to roll with it. I do think this show deserves it regardless because I'm really enjoying it. That video goes out in about 6 days. I'm crowning my top 3 animes and I'm also going to give out some awards. So go check out where Apothecary Diaries lands and if it gets any cool awards. There will be an end of season review as well. So if Apothecary does actually land on my top 3, it will then get a chance to be rolled into Anime of the Year. And of course, you've got my winter review already up, so go check out what I'm breaking down. Feeling a bit dangerous though, I might swap a show over just because I think with the people on the channel, I think a different show might do better than one I've actually picked. Stay tuned on the community posts because I'll make that decision in a few days. Just I hope you're having a fantastic Christmas. I am recording this. It's about to ding over into midnight. It's Christmas Eve going on to Christmas Eve. But I really hope you guys are going to have a fantastic Christmas. This show has already given me a grand fantastic Christmas. I love this show. I am so happy this show exists. Thank you, whoever wrote the show. I am in debt. You have really made my night and my year. As a result of last week's discoveries, the death of the lady in waiting, 80 girls are going to be released in the palace. That was a very high ratio. 80 girls with families who had links to Feng Ming, I think her name is, to her family. And there's apparently 2,000 roughly in the court and 80 of them are being let go. So that's quite a big turnover. As opposed to being kidnapped into service, I do wonder how they normally get people, whether it's just families will offer up their kids and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll go work in the palace. I'd be curious to find out about that. So the poisoning has resulted in there being a big old turnover. I do love the fact, again, we've got some minor key piano playing and the piano is gorgeous because it starts to play some really gorgeous scales. It's a very moody sequence. We've got Jinshi trying to make a very hard call and you can see he doesn't really want to make the call, but we do learn a little bit during this sequence regardless because he says, whatever I say goes. Jinshi is a person who holds a lot of power to the point that he says something and it sticks regardless and the Emperor's okay with it. Dodging and being very light on my footing right now. It must be really difficult, especially if these girls are relied upon to bring money into poorer families. So you can imagine that would be very difficult. I don't know if all of them have been offered a payoff like Mau was. It might just be that she went to go talk to him and again, he does like her. Mau would be let go. I think someone pointed that out last week. I wasn't quite sure why the name was on the table. I didn't make the link. She was panicking a lot because it wasn't just, I guess, Jinshi who knew. That's in the records. That's down on records. There's going to be more than just Jinshi who knows that her family have got that link there. I love the gossip moment again. I'm going to call her Gossip Girl because she was the first friend that Mau made in the court. And whenever we see it, it's always, here's what's going down in the court. Have some food. It's the ability to share. It was a bit of a weird one because I wasn't expecting Mau to turn around and say, I don't actually want to go. For some reason in my head, I thought she was counting down the days till saying, oh yeah, a year has passed. I've only got a year left. So for me, I was like, oh, she's looking forward to leaving. But I was shocked to find out that, yeah, actually, she enjoys her life, kind of. She enjoys being able to get the freedom of testing these poisons. She enjoys having a bit of a freedom in the palace life. Lots and lots of kudos to the lighting. There's lots of beautiful details in this episode. It's just Apothecary Diaries. It looks good, it sounds good, and it is good. We do get some very beautiful animated I call them 360 shots, the droney type shots where we get to see the entire palace. It feels like it links up with the end bit of the OP where you see her running and she's heading towards the palace. It was really nice to also just get a feel for how the palace is set out. And you can see all these pavilions are interconnected. During her panic looking for Jinshi, you could just see how everything links up, and she goes to see all these pavilions and all these concubines. Some of them are okay to talk to us. The young concubine is very happy to go and say he's not here. And then you can see with some of the other concubines, the lady-in-waitings would be there, but the concubine wouldn't be there. So I thought that was quite nice to see impact Mau Mau's had. There's a lot of people who are happy to talk to her. But it was also a little bit heartwarming to see that Jinshi was also searching for her, because I believe he was in her room and then she wasn't there, so he went out and you see him leaving the pavilion. I thought that was really nice. They were both trying to seek each other out, which a little bit of heartwarming. Of course, my heart's about to explode later on. Anyway, something that dawned upon me watching this sequence was that the girls in the palace could essentially get fired without even realising that their families had connections to that family in particular. So it shows you how interconnected the society is. If your family has a dealing with another family and then later on down the line that family does something bad, it then affects your life. It made me realise how interconnected this society was. There's world building. There's a lot of world building going on, which I don't see very often with shows. There's a lot of anime put out every single season. I think sometimes it goes up to like 50 animes titles in the summer. There's so much anime that goes out there. So when it comes to something like Apothecary Diaries, and there's so many details, there's such a love poured into the environment. It is just refreshing in general. And sure, we might have seen similar stories to this, but it's refreshing to see the amount of detail that there is. One dealing with somebody and then suddenly you're let go. I don't know on what level the girls had to have known that family or interact with that family, but it would seem that it could have been just a minor dealing with them, and that's basically enough to get them removed. So Jinshi looking for Mau Mau was really nice, and this is perhaps the first time we see her calling out to him, and that made my heart flutter. Just a mild flutter, so I really wish we had like a heart monitor scale. I could just show you roughly what my heart's doing at each moment of the show. At the moment, it's just fluttering lightly. It looks very panicky, and then we finally get that conversation between the two where he's asking her, what do you want? It was a sad moment because we get all of that inner thought going on. We've got that beautiful shot. That panning was gorgeous, debating what she really wants. And she even says, like, I want to stay. And she knows she wants to stay. But as she says, I don't want to make it look like I'm begging. But then it kind of came out like, I will just do whatever I'm told, as opposed to this is what I actually want. This is me sticking my neck out. And I get it. She feels like she can't be open with the guy. That makes sense. So I know later on he says that you're not actually clear about what it is that you want, but it is also very difficult for her to be clear to somebody who is way above her in status and go, actually, I want this, because it would also feel very risky to say, by the way, I'm making a demand that I want to stay. So I understand why she wasn't able to be clear. It's one of those sad moments where you're like, oh no, she's not saying what she really wants. And I felt really bad. And the music at this point, again, is just absolutely gorgeous. There's so many nice little details. But it's nice to see that she is enjoying her life at the palace, because I know it was a bad thing and she was kidnapped and it came out as something bad. But she's turned that negative into a positive, and it's really nice to see that she's able to survive through whatever situation she's thrown into. As soon as he turned around and said, you'll be compensated, my jaw hit the floor. I might have matched Mau Mau's expression when she's like, huh? She literally gets let go. And I'm like, what? I wasn't expecting him to just let you go. But okay, he let her go and my brain exploded. I was like, wait, are we leaving? We're actually leaving the palace right now? Quite refreshing to go back outside the palace and do some bits and pieces out in the pleasure district, which is quite nice. But I legit wasn't actually expecting it. And the fact that he also says, I'm offering you compensation, it's really nice, but you do wonder, is anybody else also getting that compensation? The aide says he's letting her go because he sees her more than a tool, as a person, in a sense. He doesn't actually want to see her as a tool. He doesn't want to be seen as seeing her as a tool. So he's letting her go because he believes that's what she wants. And even when they meet up later, he says, I thought that's what you wanted. I thought you hated it here, because that's the impression he has been given by how she is. So he doesn't actually know that she's enjoying things, because She's not very open with how she is, and a lot of times she will put on the front, which I love the fact that she even says, yeah, people tell me that all the time. Like, people have picked up that she's not very honest with how she feels. She'll put up a wall very nicely. But let's talk about Jinchi growing some mushrooms and growing his own bacterial life on him. That made me laugh, and it really reminded me of Oren Host Club. I haven't watched that in ages. Tamaki? He also used to just sit in the corner growing mushrooms, right? I remember that. I don't know whether that's a thing in Japan where people would associate feeling depressed or feeling really down as a way of growing mushrooms. I would be interested in the comments if you can tell me more like the lore or the reasoning why Japan would represent mushroom growing with feeling down. Visual is always used when it comes to feeling really crap about things, but it is really, really pretty, and I love the fact that he's surrounded by this like toxic miasma and he's just sobbing in the corner feeling really, really bad for himself. The aide's like, this is different. This isn't just him getting bored, wanting somebody else, having to find a replacement. He's not going to be happy with another replacement. He wants her back. And I like that moment where he realizes that this is different from all the other times that I've been with him. Mao Mao looking absolutely beautiful. I did say I really wanted her to wear a different dress. Still not quite there with the cosplay yet. I need something a little bit different, Mao Mao, but I am holding hope. I want to cosplay Mao Mao, but I want to do it in a different outfit. I want to do a really gorgeous outfit with lots of bits to it, but this is close. This isn't bad. I think this outfit is gorgeous. It's really refreshing to be outside of the palace, so a different pace completely. Gotta say, the textures, the wood paneling, the instruments, the fabrics, everything about this sequence when they're all getting dressed is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that they did makeup on her. I thought the makeup really suits her. I also like the way they do her hair as well. It's really, really nice. But everything about this sequence I really, really like. The music at this point too is absolutely beautiful. It really just sounds like my boy Kevin Penkin written all over it. He's just a genius. Very beautiful, but also a kind of sorrow in there. But it is absolutely gorgeous seeing the artisans doing their thing, looking as glowing as they are. Literally, the scene glows, and I think that works really well. The golden glitter going everywhere because it must appear magical with these people, and just showing how much money is currently exchanging hands to get all three of them on the stage. Jinchi really like splashing out there. The moment where she swept Jinshi's fringe from his face, oh, my heart rate starting to go up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting warm. That gets his attention, and oh, it's so nice. It's the talk between the two, and you can see there's the misunderstanding where, oh, I thought you hated it there, because she's all like, oh, that would be nice to go back. Misfiring where they don't talk to each other, that not communicating thing. He picked up on the fact that he thought she just didn't want to be there, but obviously she's like, actually, no, I didn't say that. But it's like, well, that's the impression you gave. And it was really nice to see that little conversation between them. And it felt really free because they're not in the walls of the palace. It felt like they could be a little bit more freer. The way that he talks to her is just relaxed. And obviously it gets hotter and hotter. And my brain starts to malfunction. And this might have been the moment where I broke my pen and was chewing through it. Go see my coffee account for a new pen. My brain malfunctioned completely. When the indirect kiss happened, I was like, oh my god, is this legit happening right now? I wasn't expecting it, and I fangirled a bit too hard, almost destroyed my pen. I love it, but my heart couldn't take it. It was just so much. It was really pretty. And then when she's all like, oh, I'm not taking customers yet. And he's like, oh my god, can I just buy you outright? And I was like, oh no, he just doesn't want her to see other people. He wants her. That's really beautiful. Fangirling. I lost the plot, guys. I needed help. At that point, my heart rate was off the scale. Aside from my raging hormones, let's talk about the soft snow falling and the colder sequences. Now, I actually think these might have been the really nicer moments where initially we had the bath sequence. So it starts with the snow starting to fall, Mamo in the bath starting to really think, and then the old lady coming in to talk to her, which was actually really, really touching. I liked it because she essentially was there listening to her, like, what do you want to do? What are you going to do next? She cares. And I think she does care about all of the women under her. Obviously, she cares about making a buck. But when she gets Mama to go look at somebody and she's like nodding her head, you can see she's sad as well. She's very disappointed that person is sick or there's no coming back. And it's really nice to have that moment in the bathtub between the two. I guess you've got young and old, that wisdom being passed down to the moment I really like was under the snow itself. The pace at this point is slowing right down. And it does feel like we needed this break. Obviously, it's episode 12. We were bound to have some kind of review at some point because it is halfway through the season. Any other show right now is ending. Thank you so much for not ending. I don't think I could have taken the cliffhanger. I would have had to go dig out the actual light novel or the manga. No, I'm not gonna, because this continues, so I'm not touching any of the materials yet because I don't want the spoilers. I don't want to read it and then see a spoiler. I want to go into the show blank as I can. I want to be shocked. I want to be excited when suddenly there's an indirect kiss. I want to experience it all for the first time. That's why I have got the moderator now going through things and just checking that things are okay. I also want people coming to the Noodle Bowl to feel they can also experience things for the first time without being spoiled. So we're trying to clamp down on it. It's nice as well because we just hit 800 and we have got a moderator. So it feels like I've leveled up a little bit. I think that's happened in the past year because, as Mamal says, it's been a year since I got kidnapped. It felt nice. It felt really beautiful. We've got a gorgeous bit of vocal line going on. The colours are gorgeous. Everything in this show is just amazing. I can't really fault it. All the issues I thought I had with the show are gone because I think initially with the first 3 episodes dropping, I was like, oh, this is moving really quick. But it's not. This is where the plot has slowed right down. And I actually really like the moment too where she wakes up and her dad asks her, are you okay? Can you not sleep? And I was like, that's actually really touching. I know we've kind of thrown into account that he probably isn't her dad because he's a eunuch. At the same time, he's still somebody who's looking after her. And I really appreciate that. Bar the really weird bit I had at the start where he reacts weirdly to her being away from a year. I did say that was a bit weird, but even that sequence itself was quite nice because he's checking in that she's okay. I did think that was really nice. And her sitting out with the snow, all that blue palette going on is really, really calming, really, really chill until she eventually gets cold. And then you've got that really nice little tinkling on I think it's a xylophone as she tinkles back inside again because she's really, really cold. My heart just explodes out of my brain in this last sequence. Try and run through what I got from the scene. Maybe I jumped too far or maybe I didn't. I feel like Jinshi just basically asked her to be his. I'm exploding like crazy right now. Did he just do that? He gives lots of money to the old lady, and I guess that clears her debt. But he also gives Mamal the mutated insect, which is hilarious. It also works because he knows what tickles her fancy. He knows she wants something like that, and that's so creepy and Mamal at the same time. Did he just basically ask for her? Are they not like dating or something? She belongs to him, right? Maybe I'm jumping too far with the dating aspect because that's a modern concept, I guess. He's basically asked for her and she's accepted the gift as well because she took the gift from him, so I guess she's accepted it. What does this now mean? Now, I am going to give you guys a quick chance to click off. If you don't watch the teasers, this is going to be your warning to jump off because I did actually watch the teaser on this one because I didn't click off quick enough. I saw it, so I want to just give a bit of a thought on what I saw for next week. Obviously, it's going to be jumbled. It's just going to be like a wrap-up type thing. If you are clicking off here, thank you so much for your continued support. Have a good Christmas. Click off now. That is your warning. Goodbye, guys. And for the guys who didn't click off, hi, I'm back again. Just because I watched the bit at the end where it's next week's episode, this is going to happen. I did just say that I thought Jinshi had basically bought her outright. With the way that she's dressed, and I love this outfit, by the way, and I want to see more of this outfit next week, but it's not going to be the cosplay outfit. It's not quite right just yet. It does make me think that he has just bought her, but I don't understand what this now means. Like, obviously, she's going to go back to the palace, which is great, so the plot is going to continue in the palace. What does this mean? Because if he owns her, is she just going to go back to being a lady in waiting? That feels weird. And I think she said she's going back to the rear palace. I have so many questions, and obviously this is just me getting this little bit off my chest. It's probably not even a spoiler. It's probably not even nothing. I just didn't want to say it in front of people who hadn't seen the trailer. It just felt weird. But I'm just being considerate right now. This show is making me ask questions. This show is getting me so excited. I want to know more. The weekly waits. Oh my God. This is what it means to really be involved in a show, I think. If you really just can't wait for the next installment, I think that's how you know a show is good. I don't think I've really had this with any other show this season. I'm literally on the edge of my seat going, oh, I'm very excited. It's another installment. What we're going to learn this time around. This week's episode was just insane. I wasn't expecting so many aspects of it and I really enjoyed it. I guess my heart's fluttering. I love them. I think they're a fantastic couple if they ever do get together. But oh my God, there were so many moments, guys. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Thank you for hearing me out. Honestly, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do hope that you are going to have a fantastic Christmas. Thank you for your continued support. It's been a very interesting year. The channel has grown in different ways. I really do hope that you guys continue supporting me into the new year. I am considering, I guess I can like debate on here with you guys, that I am considering dropping solo leveling from my reviews and picking up the Witch and the Beast, just because it feels a bit more in line with the people who are joining the show and people who are joining my channel at the moment who are liking Apothecary Diaries. I feel like there might be a bit more of a connection with that the Witch and the Beast, and it is set in the UK, so I can give it a UK spin. But that's roughly what I'm considering right now. That's me sharing some thoughts with you guys. If you guys have read either Solo Leveling or Witch and the Beast and you've seen a lot of my reviews, you can let me know down below if you think I prefer one to the other. But thank you guys so much. Have a good Christmas, and I'll see you guys again in another video. Bye, guys.